What if I told you that your brain lies to you every single day? Not because you're dumb, not because you're irrational. It's because your brain is built to take shortcuts. Shortcuts that make life easier, but also fool you without you even noticing. Maybe you blame traffic when you're late, but when someone else is late, they're bad at time management. Maybe you ignore advice just because it didn't match what you already believed. These ain't random mistakes. These are mind traps, also called as cognitive biases. And today, I'm going to show you 5 mind traps that your brain uses, plus one bonus at the end that could change how you make every single decision. By the end of this video, you'll see your own brain in a complete new way. 1. The spotlight effect. Ever walked into a room and felt like all eyes were on you? Judging how you speak, how you move, even what you're wearing. That feeling has a name, the spotlight effect. Here's the crazy part. Most people barely notice you. In a famous study, students were asked to wear the most embarrassing t-shirts and walk around the campus. They assumed everyone would notice and judge them, but in reality, most people didn't even notice the t-shirts. Why? Because everyone is too busy thinking about themselves. Think about it. When was the last time you remember exactly what someone else was wearing? You are the center of your own attraction and you assume that you are the center of everyone else's attraction. Most people are busy around their own world, so they don't care about what you do. Like there was this time when I tripped once in middle of the crowded hallway. I thought everyone saw that I'll never live it down. But in reality, someone tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Bro, are you alright? Are you okay?" and kept walking. Nobody else even noticed it. Once you realize this, social anxiety becomes easier to manage. You try new things without fear of judgment. You finally stop overthinking every small mistake. But sometimes the brain does the opposite. It judges people instantly, and that's where the halo effect comes in. 2. The halo effect. The halo effect happens when one positive trait makes us assume someone is good at everything. There was a study conducted where professors were asked to grade students' essays, and the catch was all essays were identical, except some included photo of student. Results were shocking. Students who looked more attractive received higher grades compared to other students, even though their essays were exactly the same. Why? Because the brain thinks if this one thing is good, everything else must be good too. Okay, answer me this one question. 2 people are standing on stage. One looks confident and other looks awkward. Who do you think is a better speaker over here? You would have picked the confident one, even with no other information. Basically, your brain saying, if this one thing about them is good, the rest must be good too. Once you understand halo effect, you can use this to your advantage. 1. Create a strong first impression. Excel in one highly visible skill. People will naturally assume you're good at other things too. But the opposite can also happen, the horn effect. One small negative cue and people assume the worst. 3. The horn effect. The horn effect is the opposite of the halo effect. One negative trait, a messy appearance, weak handshake, a monotone voice, can make people assume everything about you is bad. This is why first impressions are so critical. Ever met someone who seemed rude the first time and later you thought, they're probably not very smart either? That's your brain forming a shortcut. And the best part about this effect is you can flip this bias into your favor. Nail the first impression with confidence. Confident speech, strong handshake, polished appearance. Be excellent at one visible skill and people will assume you're excellent at other things too. 4. The Dunning-Kruger effect. Here's the one you've probably seen in real life. The less someone knows you, the more confident they often are. Meanwhile, experts tend to underestimate themselves. Students tested in logical reasoning, grammar, and humor, and the results were shocking. Low scorers were more confident and overestimated their performance compared to the high scorers. I can actually relate to this. When I started martial arts, after 1 week, I genuinely thought I could beat everyone in the gym. I created an illusion in my brain, and the reality hit fast. I got to know that there are megalodons in the ocean. There's a lot more to learn. You've probably seen this in real life too. Someone with less skill than you somehow passes the interview, or someone who isn't good looking as you ends up pulling the hottest girl in the room. Confidence often matters more than a skill in how others perceive you. But to avoid falling for this yourself, Stay humble and ask for feedbacks. Next, I'll show you a bias that companies use to make you spend more money without you even realizing it. 5. Anchoring bias. People heavily rely on the first piece of information they see, the anchor. When making decisions, once the initial number or idea is in your mind, it influences all later judgments. Here's the classic experiment to show you how powerful it is. Participants were asked to spin a wheel that randomly landed on a number between 1 and 100. Then they were asked what percentage of countries in the United Nations are in Africa. Even though the number on the wheel had nothing to do with the question, it heavily influenced their answers. People who landed on high number guessed the higher percentage. People who landed on lower number guessed the lower percentage. Your brain doesn't start from scratch. It takes the first number as a reference point and adjusts from there, even if it's completely irrelevant. This is exactly why companies use anchoring in pricing. A shirt might show an original price of 5,000, then a sale price of 2,999. Even if 2,999 is normal, the 5,000 anchor makes the deal feel huge. Once you know this, you can avoid being manipulated in sales. Set your own anchors in negotiations. Here's the one we teased at the start. It's called the confirmation bias, and it's everywhere. It makes you ignore information that doesn't fit your beliefs while only focusing on what confirms them. Think about the last time you argued online. Did you really listen? Or were you just looking for evidence to win? Or maybe you bought into a trend, a diet, or a life hack just because it matched what you already thought, even if the facts didn't fully add up. Recognizing this makes you smarter, calmer, and harder to manipulate. It helps you make better decisions, understand other people more clearly, and even spot when you're being fooled, sometimes by your own brain. Once you start noticing these biases, you'll see them everywhere, in marketing, in politics, in conversation, and even in your own thinking. Understanding your mind traps doesn't just make you smarter, it makes you harder to manipulate. And in the next video, I'll reveal 7 more mind traps your brain uses every day, some of which control your decisions without you even realizing it.